Hi, I'm Sawyer Rose. I'm a sculptor and social practice artist. And big thanks to Numu for this opportunity to exhibit and to be here this evening with these other inspiring artists. This is the piece in the show. It's called Triple Shift: Women's Work and Pandemic Parenting. It's a data visualization, actually, of the unpaid working hours uh, that mothers in the labor force were doing before the pandemic, and then the added hours that they're doing now. So the data I used was before COVID-19. The data showed that mothers who had jobs outside of the home were also shouldering 35 hours of unpaid domestic labor per week, which sounds like a lot until you find out that now during the pandemic, as schools are closed and daycares are closed, uh, those same women are averaging 65 hours per week on, their household tasks and their childcare and everything. So in this piece, the way you read the data visualization, the gold tiles on the lower half show the 35 hours that women were doing before COVID-19. And then the silver tiles on the top show the 25 additional for a total of 65. Um, and, so obviously, any woman experiencing this on a personal level, it's got to be very frustrating. But I also like to look at these data pieces through a wider lens. And this trend of, what women are experiencing right now is really actually setting back gender equality in the workplace. And in fact, the current data from early 2021 says that 1 in 4 working women in the United States is having to either scale back or leave her career altogether because of domestic responsibilities that she's, had uh, during the pandemic. So that's a staggering number. That's 25% of women. Um, so that's a lot of numbers that I'm throwing at you, and that's sort of a good segue to what my usual practice is about. Um, this piece is from the Carrying Stones Project, which is my ongoing series of works that use art and data to try to talk about women's labor inequity in its many different forms. Um, so what we're seeing in this year of pandemic, it's really sort of like turned the rock over, if you will, and exposed a lot of inequities that working women are facing, and also how those inequities disproportionately affect women of color and women working at lower paying jobs. Um, so it's a lot of data, it's a lot of numbers, but my goal is to try to find ways to help people understand what's going on by sort of drawing them a picture almost. Um, so the Carrying Stones project includes a lot of publicly sourced data pieces like this one. But at the heart of the project are really my large scale sculptural pieces that tell the personal stories of real individual working women. Next slide, please. So this piece is called Renee. It's about a woman, Renee Stout. She's a terrific artist working in DC. And this sculpture piece is data visualization too. So the way that all the sculptural pieces work is I collect real time working data from each of my project participants. Each participant, in this case Renee, recorded her working hours, her paid working hours and her unpaid working hours in a custom built timekeeping app that I made for this project. And then when I get their data, I translate it into a sculpture. It works, most of them work the same way as the first piece. They're color coded. And this one, the black boxes are her paid labor, and the wireframes, which are a little hard to see in this size picture, the wireframe boxes are her unpaid labor hours. And then once the participants' data sculpture is complete, I take the storytelling part of it a little bit further by taking a photographic portrait of the woman lifting and carrying the sculpture of her hours. So she's like literally physically bearing the burden of her work. Next slide, please. And here's another one of the large scale sculptures with its paired portrait. This one's about a woman named Loida. Loida is a dentist and a mother of two. And while she was earning her dental degree, she commuted weekly to San Francisco, which was 3 hours each way, and kept up with her two young children and her husband and everything that was going on via FaceTime. So this piece addresses, not just her story, but the larger issue of the pressure that women feel to, do it all. And, and it lets you know the cost of a woman trying not to do it all. The numbers, if you look at them, show that over a 15-year period, which is sort of like the heart of a woman's career, women who took just 1 year off ended up earning 39% less than women who took no time off at all. So again, that's a lot of numbers and maybe, it's hard to relate to them, but then you hear Loida's story and you see her portrait lifting and carrying her hours, and it really humanizes the facts and the figures and hopefully gives viewers a way into understanding the larger issues that are addressed by this one woman's story. So in the same way, the Renee sculpture in the slide before tells a story that gives a face to the fact that women artists earn 74 cents on the dollar what men artists make, and Black women working in all fields earn 65 cents for every dollar made by white men. So by recounting these individual women's personal stories, I'm sort of trying to build bridges of understanding with people who may never have thought about these issues before. Um, so yeah, so that's what the project does. And as quarantine hopefully starts to let up, I will be opening a one-person museum exhibition of works from the Carrying Stones project. It's opening in May at a place you may know, New Museum Los Gatos. So that's pretty thrilling. Um, right now, I'm working on new pieces for that show, and that's what's keeping me busy right now. I'll be taking a look at women in academia, mothers of children with disabilities, and women with family members in the incarceration system. So some really interesting deep dives are coming up, and I will be excited to share those with you soon. So take care, everyone. Thanks.